right. How you doing, bro? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm going to be going to Atlanta tomorrow, so going to be in the dirty South. So
It
looking
is a
forward to
fun
this trip.
downtown. It's a fun downtown.
Nice. That's where I'm staying. So
Have you never
yeah.
been there?
So I mean, I've only been there once actually. It was when I covered against Clemson during COVID. So I spent the yeah, I know. It was like it's that's my only time in Atlanta. I mean, aside from just like connecting on Delta flights, if if I'm flying Delta on a trip.
Yeah, connect.
Mhm.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah. So
That sucks, dude. So
oddly enough,
the only time you went was during COVID, which you really probably couldn't really enjoy the damn place. But you will now, dude. You will
nice.
now. It's
Yeah, I was looking forward to it.
it's
Yeah.
one of my favorite cities to visit. Their traffic absolutely sucks ass. Right, yeah, no, Atlanta traffic is really, really bad, dude. It's really bad, man.
Yeah, I
Like,
think I even got a glimpse of it that time during COVID.
yeah, that I've been there several times, and that's one thing that I've been impressed with Atlanta. I didn't know that their traffic was like A level bad, you know. So it's that's about the only. But there, once you're in downtown, you don't really need a car or anything. You're just like you can walk all over and all that kind of stuff. Their downtown is really cool. I like Atlanta. I think it's a really cool place to visit. So that's going to be fun. And I guess that leads me to a question that I want to ask you because as a beat writer, like your next like 2.5 years are about to suck. You know that, right? Like you're about to cover a team that is about to do the whole stupid transition again. They're going to get a new GM, a new head coach. They're going to have new coordinators. It's all, and they have cap issues for the next couple of years because of the moves that they're going to have to do over the next, couple of months. So it's just one of those deals where just personally for you, it's all about you, dude. Screw the Dolphins. I'm just wondering personally for you how you feel about that because I've been on the beat where you have to go every day and all that. For you, it's even worse because you have to literally write about it. And it's just even more than a radio guy. It's a lot more to it. So I'm just wondering, you don't have you're not going to be writing about a lot of exciting stuff except potential stuff, which is what we've always done.
That's what hurts when a team goes down this bad this early is just like you got to pull through the whole rest of the season, like just coming up with interesting things. I mean, I can only imagine it's got to be worse if you were like a baseball guy who wrote every single day about the Marlins. My goodness, and they were like a little bit better this year, but for a lot of the seasons, I mean, geez, like to come up with 162 games of just all right.
And they're going nowhere, they're not spending, and they're still not going anywhere because they're not spending anything. You know what I mean? So, yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
And at least Dolphins, there's always going to be interest. So whether things are good or bad, I mean, we went through. Listen, we've gone through just 25 years of still no playoff wins, and obviously this is the one fan base down here where it's always been loyal. I think probably the Heat have maybe gained a little bit of that to an extent because they had all those championship runs. So I think now there is a loyal fan base. Where right before all that, then there was it was iffy a little bit on if fans were on the bandwagon and then jumping off, and then LeBron comes and after coming off the Shaq and Wade championship, and then okay, now we're back on the bandwagon. Where I think now they've kind of established they also have a loyal fan base. The Dolphins are the one that always does. Maybe the Panthers will because now they've won back to back.
Yeah,
the Canes have somewhat of it, but you still see when they're playing poorly, then that stadium is empty, and then now people are coming back when they were up to number 2, just lost, of course, but. I mean, the Dolphins is a team. NFL is king, and just there's always going to be interest. People, even if people aren't interested in the week to week, it's just on Sunday afternoons. People in South Florida are still going to be tuning in to see what's happening with the Dolphins.
Oh, always. There's no doubt about it. But see, the thing is that, and I know you're not one of them. That's why I'm talking to you about this. Some media members. They feed off of this. They actually want it to be a disaster because disasters and we love watching the train crash. That's kind of what we are all about as a society. But I know how you are, probably like me. This is not fun. It's not fun to want to have to cover losing all the time. It's not fun to walk into a locker room and ask somebody about losing. And then it's not fun to cover losing on a consistent basis. Some media members who have no connection to the community or the team, they won't care. But since you're a Miami guy like I am, it kind of bothers you a little bit that you have to like cover bad news all the time. And that's not very motivating, actually. It's not fun. You know what I mean? It's like, because I know you're not having fun at their despair, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah, that definitely not. I mean, I consider my job fun, regardless. I get to cover sports for a living, So I mean, I feel pretty fortunate, just to be able to say that. But certainly, I mean, there's like a short term span where okay, yeah, like because this is new stuff, or it's fresh to just like bash the team in the short term. But there's only so long that could take you because you can't just do that for once it becomes the norm of all right, 1-6 becomes if it's like 2-9 down the road or something, 2-11 if it's like 3-12, records like that, and you're like, it really wears on you, and you got to go into the locker room and ask guys who are more down on it because they themselves are the ones that are losing games, than you or the fans are. And you got to go ask them what ends up being a lot of the same questions because nothing new is happening. It's you try to find new stuff within the losing, but it's just all of it is the same and repetitive. So it feels like Patrick Paul said in the locker room last game in Cleveland after the loss. One of the things he said was, it's the same speech over and over again, and we got to stop talking. We got to start doing. It's kind of the same way with like the interviews. If it all gets repetitive, it's the same speech, it's the same conversation. If you keep covering a team that's losing every time, so you hope that they sprinkle in some success, but then also that sort of deters your draft your draft pick possibilities, if so. So I know a lot of fans are already ready for the tank, but yeah, it turns into a long season for sure.
Yeah, I mean we're in the middle of it at this point in time because whether they think they're tanking or not, it's just unfortunately not working out well. Injury wise, it looks like Waddle now is banged up going into this game.
Yeah, it was interesting because Thursday when we watched practice before the injury report comes out, then he's doing mostly workouts on the side, which was new because he was practicing Wednesday. By all intents and purposes, it seemed like he was fine coming off the hit that he took late in the Browns game. He said he was fine to me after the game on Wednesday. Asked again after practice Wednesday, and he said he was fine. I don't think it's related to that because he's listed for both hamstrings on the injury report. So that's interesting. Maybe it's just a minor tweak. We got to find out more when Mike McDaniel speaks and is asked that question today. But obviously, not something you want to see for an offense that is already down Tyreek Hill for the season, just had Darren Waller go on IR. And then now, if Jalen Waddle is also down, who, by the way, you struggle to target in this game, in this past game, as he is now the number one. He has been active the previous two games without Tyreek Hill, but couldn't get him going against Cleveland. I know conditions weren't ideal and whatever, but then you fell behind, and so you were going to be passing, and you still couldn't.
There were times you couldn't get Tyreek involved either.
Yeah.
It took you a year to get a 30-yard reception. There are times where you don't even you use Waldo and then you don't use him.
Yeah.
There is no rhyme or reason to this offense. Unfortunately, and I laugh at the Tua comments because I think there's a lot of double meaning to what's going on, and people don't understand it. And people are commenting on the short quarterback thing. That's been going on for 50 years in the league. Anybody that's 6'1", 6 foot, 5'11", 5'10", 5'9", you're going to struggle to see over the line, dude, at times. Many, many times you're going to struggle to see over the line. So it's just kind of when he talks about operations, that there's problems. And when he talks about not seeing over the line also in those situations, he's kind of telling you that the blocking scheme is also all screwed up. And when you don't have a blocking scheme that's under control, you don't give the quarterback the passing lanes. But he's not going to tell flat out to everybody out on the podium, I can't see because they're not blocking well and they're not giving me passing lanes. And that's why you need a really good offensive line in front of quarterbacks that are shorter. So you can control the pocket and you can give the quarterback the passing lanes. And then that way he doesn't see over the top. He sees it in chapters. And that's the guy that's 5'9" or the guy that's 6'1". The guy that's 6'4", 6'5", maybe 6'3", has a chance to see over some of those guys who are 6'5", 6'6", 6'7", with their arms up. They're also going to struggle at times. You know what I mean? So it's something that gets exaggerated, but it's also something that doesn't get actually broken down to what he was actually talking about. But he's not going to just throw it out there and say, hey, our blocking is so screwed up. It just makes this all that much harder. His play calling is so screwed up. It makes it that much harder. Your lack of dedication to the run game is screwed up. It makes it that much harder. The fact that you can't get a play in on time makes it that much harder. It just, I can go on and on and on and on and all of that, but it's fun. Just talk about the short quarterback and try to use it as a joke when you really don't understand what he's talking about.
Exactly, Big O. It's a tale as old as time. Is the short quarterback obviously is going to have struggles seeing over the line. That's why a lot of quarterbacks are taller. And then actually there was kind of like almost a renaissance of short quarterbacks in not so long ago. Like Drew Brees had success. Oh my, okay, maybe teams can alter this thinking. Russell Wilson had success. Then you see Kyler Murray, who was an extreme example.
Dominant. Seattle and New Orleans had dominant offensive lines. They had dominant centers and guards that opened things up for the running game and the passing game. Tua has none of that, but he's just not going to flat out trash everything. He's just going to say, well, our operations are a little bit dysfunctional and, I'm having trouble seeing over the line and all that. And so then the person that doesn't understand it, which is a lot of you out there, you then start doing that short stuff and the jokes, and you're really kind of dumb and you don't really figure out what he's actually talking about in a football sense. And this is nothing new, bro. You think Greasy was able to see over everybody all the time? No, of course not, dude. Give me a break. It's just really silly.
But he had a great offensive line back then in the 70s. And I think a lot of the criticism is just a piling on of Tua right now because it's the easy thing to do right now. The team is 1-6. He's coming off back-to-back 3 interception games. And then so people are literally listening to the Tua press conferences to be like, what can I make something out of? Because I heard the comment and I was just like, I just went, right on about it. Like it didn't strike me as anything. Maybe for me because I've covered him, and I've been at basically every Tua interview since I've been on the beat, and I've heard him say this multiple times before. First time I heard it,
he told you when he's completed a pass that was a big play that he didn't see the player. He's throwing to a spot. It's like he's done that 100 times. It's like, and then all of a sudden it's something, and it just shows how fans, sorry guys out there, that a lot of you really don't know what the fuck you're talking about or you're watching. And so, that's kind of the way it goes, but that's all right. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And it's not even something that you need to have played the game before to understand. It's like, no, if you're a quarterback, you have the biggest men on the field in front of you on the line, both on the offensive line and defensive line. Yeah, just by pure physics, the short quarterback over a big line, he's got to get the ball over. It's just like it just makes sense. It's not even something that you have to have done before. You don't have to be a high school quarterback to understand this concept. So, a
scout told me once. I'm at a bar with a scout, and we're smoking some cigars, and he goes, "Put the cigar down." And I go, "What?" And he goes, put it down. All right, I want you to go over to this table, and I want you to put your hands like a quarterback and go under and lean down. And so I did that. And he goes, "What are you seeing now at this height?" And this was years ago. This has nothing to do with Tua. And he goes, "What are you seeing at this?" And I go, "Well, it's really low at this point." He goes, "Okay, so now imagine you're standing as a quarterback under, and you're behind mammoth linemen that are in front of you. And the second you take a snap, they're standing, you're crouching and standing up, and they're in front of you and holding up their arms and all that kind of stuff." And he goes, "It's impossible for you to see the entire field unless you're 6'6". You know, you're going to miss parts of the field. And so he explained to me how blocking in passing lanes becomes so important to a quarterback, because in certain angles, even when you're a tall guy, you're not seeing everything, but you're seeing it in pieces develop so you can anticipate and throw ahead of time. And that's what they call throwing through windows.
Yeah.
Okay. In different levels. And that's a gift that the kid has. But unfortunately, if you don't build it right in front of him, like they haven't, this is what ends up happening, unfortunately. But it's just an adjustment that they all make. And the good ones can make the adjustment, but you have to help them, dude. You know, if you don't block for the Breezes of the world or the Greasies of the world or the Russell Wilsons of the world, you know, you're just not going to get it done. But those players had success because the people in front of them could block, and they always could hand it off to somebody that was a threat. Tua's never had that. He's never had that. You know,
Yeah.
that's how it goes. You know, that's how it goes.
You got Devon Achane now. Obviously, the run game is never really committed to as much as many would like. But yeah, I mean, Tua right now, both starters on the right side of the line have been out since week one. 3 plays into the season, he loses the right guard, the veteran free agent signing, who the team dished out the biggest free agent contract this offseason to help solidify the line. You lose him 3 plays into the season. You have Austin Jackson, who you extended, who was a former first-round pick at right tackle, who protects Tua's blind side, by the way. He goes down later in that same game. So now you have backups at both those positions. By the way, you're on your 4th different right guard. Cole Strange is 4th different right guard. You have a rookie at left guard who hasn't really developed yet. You hope you have something in him for the future, but he hasn't played well yet. Patrick Paul has done really well as a first-year starter, second-year player, but still.
Brewer and Paul. That's it. It's Brewer and Paul. Those are the only 2 guys that you can count on every week is Brewer and Paul. Everybody else has problems, you know?
Yeah, and the right side of the line, those are backups. You know, they're backups for a reason. Not only that, you don't have Liam Eichenberg. I know fans are going to be like, no, not him. But let me tell you, right now, if Liam Eichenberg was out there, he'd at least give you a little bit better of a shot. If he was your top backup coming in, like, say, for example, when James Daniels went down, if you had him to just throw in there at right guard, he's done it before, and he's been in the system for so long. Plus Andrew Meyer, a guy they really liked. He hasn't been available since early in training camp. Like they're deep down into, Cole Strange was just picked up, and then like 2 weeks later, they're going to him. You know, so they're dealing with it with this line, and it makes it tough on Tua.
I am, I laugh at people out there. Oh, there's going to be a fire sale. There's not going to be a fire sale, bro. I'm sticking to it. Chubb's really the only guy I think that's going to go, if anybody goes, in the trading deadline. It would have been Chubb and Tyreek, but obviously Tyreek now is done. So I'm still sticking with my story. I'm still sticking that it's Chubb, the only one that could possibly go. Where are you at with that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm between Chubb and Phillips is a possibility, but I could see Chubb more because he does have 4 sacks this season, so he's kind of shown, all right, he is beyond the knee injury that then took him all of 2024. He's produced more this season, been solid against the run, so which not many can say on this defense, but at least he's provided something there, all things considered. So I feel like he is one there. Jalen Phillips is still coming off of back-to-back season-ending deals.
You're not going to get anything. Nobody's giving you shit, Jalen Phillips, dude.
Yeah.
Nothing.
So you might be better off just holding on to him. So I think one of the edge rushers, so that then you could get Chop Robinson also into some starter snaps again.
You can't
because
trade Chubb and Phillips and then leave Chop again alone.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Oh no, I'm not saying both. I'm saying between. Yeah.
Can't do that. You gotta keep and Phillips needs a playing time. So you can decide to tag him at the end of the year for 1 year or something if you want to just hold him or something like that. I don't know,
You
but
can, yeah.
Huh? What?
Yes, that you can, but
Yeah.
I don't know. But I don't know if you would want to at the cost of a franchise tag.
No, not what's the other tag?
Oh, like a transition tag. I got to look up what they would cost next season, but yeah, but they're always because it's the combination of the top 5 average annual values of the position, and that always becomes very, very expensive. So it's kind of got to be like almost an elite player at the position that you're just not sure if you want to commit long term to.
Definitely not a franchise tag. You can't give him a franchise tag, but or you could negotiate like a 1 or 2 year deal with him at a reason. He can't ask for a lot of money.
Prove it, yeah.
Yeah, he really can't ask for a ton of money. But then again, he may also want a fresh start and get the hell out of here too, which I don't
For
blame.
JP, I don't know because JP loves Miami. He now is engaged to a woman he met in Miami. They're having a kid together. So, there's also like personal things that come into play for these players. So I bet he would love to stay in South Florida. I mean, he's taken a lot of initiative with like Dolphins Cancer Challenge. He's like the lead player as far as being on the board for that event. So I feel like he's very involved with the Dolphins, with the community. Is trying to build a family here. So
yeah, maybe you could get a cheap 1 or 2 year deal and you put some incentives in it, and if he actually stays healthy. But I'd rather keep him for the rest of the year and see if he actually turns the corner and plays better or whatever. But trading him now, you're going to get a 6th rounder, bro. Nobody's going to give you shit. You're not getting any high pick for Jalen Phillips. Nobody's trading for him. He isn't performing and he's injury prone. It's hard, bro. It's hard for somebody to really risk a high pick and you have to let him go or sign him to the same problem that Miami will have. You know what I mean? And then that becomes another issue for you. So I just think I still think Chubb is the only guy that goes. If anyone goes, it'll be Chubb.
I think one of the proposed trades I saw on one article was like a day 3 pick swap of you get a 4th, but you trade either a 6th or a 7th with Jalen Phillips. So it's like, all right, you get you bump up your 6th or 7th to a 4th. There's some value, but even then, that's just not much for what you can get if you do get a good season out of Jalen Phillips going forward. So I'm with you. Because I'm definitely saying no, not both. You can't go and send both Chubb and Phillips out. But one of them, it's kind of between the two, and then I would lean Chubb. I guess I would lean Chubb a little bit more.
Chubb has a window anyway. Chubb has a window in this deal to get out in the offseason for the team anyway. So they were probably going to think about that moving forward because you cannot pay 3 defensive ends. You just can't, dude. You can pay 2, but you better draft that 3rd one and be developing him and that kind of stuff. And that's what they have to do, down the line, whoever's in charge. I think that will be their decision next year when they add the new GM, overall. What was I going to ask you?
And just to make one final point on that, you haven't been able to get Chop Robinson in any kind of rhythm, pass rushing, because he's playing limited snaps. He's a backup to these guys. I mean, it's not even like it's a true rotation. If you look at his snap counts week to week, he's got significantly fewer week to week. So, you're not seeing the same like second half of last year Chop that you saw. So he probably needs to get into a little bit more of a rhythm with one of them gone. And I think for the Dolphins, they expected, all right, between Chubb and Phillips, you're not going to be healthy all year with both of them. One of them is going to go down. Chop can come in, and to their credit, they've been healthy and they've remained the starters. So you haven't been able to get Chop on the field, but you need to as a first round pick from just the previous season. Need to get him going.
Somebody's asking about the Jordan Brooks deal because they guaranteed him some money. That kind of keeps him here for next year, right?
I think it's just more of like a short term, free up some cash. they might have some kind of move in the works that or needed to get under a certain number. I'm not entirely sure, but I don't think it's like it's not like.
I don't think that move is something that triggers a trade. Is what I'm saying. I think he's still here throughout the year. Is what I'm saying. I think.
Oh right, yeah. No, I'm not. I don't think they're trying to get rid of him, move him. But free up some cash for something. We'll see what that something turns out to be.
All right, good stuff there. What are you working on this Sentinel so folks can check you out?
Yeah, I think just leading into this game against the Falcons, going to detail level of urgency for this team and how they are trying to respond to Mike McDaniel's coaching as he sticks around, and if anything is different going into this game, and I have stories up from yesterday. Kenneth Grant, how he has been showing some signs, and last 2 weeks. The new Jalen Waddle injury, and then also backup quarterback job kind of like in flux now with Quinn Ewers and Zach Wilson. Quinn Ewers supplants Zach Wilson, and then they're still saying it's a competition week to week, but then Mike McDaniel wants one of them to be the guy backing up Tua, so breaking that down.
You believe in that?
As far as what, like the matchup thing?
The believing that, the matchup thing, that he's just the number 2 for now. I'm not believing any of that. Of that. By the way, what did you read into McDaniel not even looking at Ewers when he came off the field? And Tua went over to, hey, man, good job, console him and all that kind of stuff. Did you see that video?
Ooh, okay, I might have missed that. I know the one of Mike McDaniel going like this, like after the interception when they were backed up.
Right off the field towards McDaniel. And, dude, McDaniel doesn't even acknowledge his existence. And then Tua's the guy that comes to, hey, and he's walking away. It almost feels like, yo, dude, I know how you feel. Don't worry about it. It's a really dysfunctional thing that you're in there for. Don't worry about it. It's kind of like that, It's it just you should check out that video. Sean, if you have it, send it to Furones, because I know you saw it also. He might be able to find it. If he finds it, he'll send it to you. But yeah, dude, it's like odd. And again, for me, Zach was his guy. The front office picked Ewers. So
I can see that, because I totally feel Zach Wilson was like Mike McDaniel out of pride, a reclamation project. He wants to take him in, see what he can turn him into. Instead of, boy, they could have just gotten a proven veteran backup, although, that hasn't really shown itself. It's like Tua hasn't been injured. It's been Tua for this 1-6 start, so that's not like a reason why this team is 1-6.
No,
on a deeper level, though.
Right, yeah, but it just kind of shows you that when it comes to, he's not really a quarterback guru, is what I'm trying to point out. You know what I'm saying? So that's the part that sucks. All right, follow him on Twitter at David Furones _. David, have a safe travel. Enjoy Atlanta, baby.
Yes,
Post pandemic. Good for you, bro. Nice. All right, brother. Good. There you go. Welt Rheaume. We thank them, of course, for this segment. We thank them for their amazing support for over 5 years. From day one of this platform, Welt Rheaume have been with us. They've taken care of a lot of our listeners over the years here in South Florida, on the West Coast, and the Gold Coast, in Central Florida. 954-966-4646. Hurricane season, storm season, torrential downpour. We had listeners out west when they were pounded by a couple of storms 2 years ago. They called Welt Rheaume, several of them. They're in much better place. If you're dealing with bankruptcy, condo damage, criminal defense, commercial litigation, personal injury, business owner claims, please call Jeff Welt and Daniel Rheaume. The consultation's completely free, and they have their own adjusters. So they will send their adjusters to assess all the damage, and then they call the insurance company on your behalf. You never have to deal with the insurance company. That's like you never get a headache. All you do is pick up a check at Welt Rheaume. Call them. Consultation's free. Jeff and Dan will talk to you. 954-966-4646.
Show.